Hey guys, so I am back and I am not sure what round it is for Spring Toss, but we're still going through it. We're going through the collection, cleaning up things that we're not using and rediscovering products that we may have neglected just because I have such a large collection. And it also gives you a view into products that you may have thought about, you may have been interested in, so you can kind of check them out, get a sneak peek into my collection. And for this video, we're going to go through concealers, and concealers have kind of been a thorn in my side. I've been looking at them for months and I'm like, I need to go through them and get rid of some of them, and I finally did it. So if you want to see me go through my concealers, walk you through the Spring Toss, then let's just jump right into it. Alright guys, so here are all my concealers. Yes, okay, they're just spilling out. I put all my concealers that I currently have in my collection, which is far too much, in this little jar here, and we're gonna go through them one by one and see what we need to toss. Alright, so I have sorted through all the concealers and we'll just go through the different sets that I have here. And this is just far too much concealer, and I know that, and that's why I'm kind of going through them now. So we'll start with the least painful. Those would be my NARS, and these are the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealers, and I have the shade Caramel and Ginger, and these are going absolutely nowhere. So this one is Ginger and this one is Caramel, and I absolutely love these concealers and they blend in really nice, so these are going nowhere. Then we have my two Fit Me concealers from Maybelline, and I just got these recently. I have the shade 35, which is deep, and 30, which is cafe latte. And these are kind of similar to the NARS Creamy Concealer, but they're a lighter formula. They're a little bit, I don't know, a little bit more lightweight, and they feel very similar, but of course the NARS ones are a little bit more high-end, so they apply a little better, blend in a little better, but they're very similar concealers. That's the shade Cafe, and then the light shade there is Deep, which I'm always confused about how this shade here is darker than the other shade. But those are the concealer shades right there. I use the lighter ones for under my eyes to brighten, and then the deeper ones I can mix in to deepen up the other shades and to just do different shading on my skin. Alright, so we've gotten those concealers out of the way. They're not going anywhere. I have this NYX Deep Concealer. This one is Dark Circle Concealer, and these shades have more of a salmon undertone, and they're meant to cancel out dark circles because they have a more salmony undertone. This shade that I have is Deep, number 4, and where did I put it? Right here. You see it on my skin. It's a little bit too deep for me, but it blends out really nice. It's a really nice concealer, so I think this is in the maybe pile for me. This is a maybe. Then we have my Marc Jacobs Remarkable Concealer. This is one of my favorite concealers. It's absolutely not going anywhere. This is the shade, what shade is this? 7. And this one is a deep shade too, but it blends, if you can see it right here, it blends in a little bit nicer onto my skin than the NYX one. So I think this one is my go-to concealer. I need a backup of this when Sephora has their VIB sale. I'm definitely getting a backup of this because this one is my favorite. It's pricey, but it's awesome. And since that's the case, this NYX one can go. And then another NYX one that I have is this one here, which is the Above and Beyond Full Coverage Concealer. This is in the shade Tan. And I don't know, like, I like NYX's concealers. They're inexpensive, they blend really well, they apply to the skin really well. They are very decent concealers. There's nothing wrong with them, but I don't see myself reaching for them as much. I reach for the more high-end concealers just because I feel like under my eyes I prefer a higher end product because they have better ingredients. Even though these work well, they just don't have great skin beneficial ingredients in them. So I'm going to get rid of that one too. Then we have these 3 Shea Moisture concealers. These ones I love for highlighting and contouring. Well, not, yeah, for shading. This is the shade, which one is this? This is Havasu Hazel. This one is Snowdonia Fawn. And these I like because they're very, very lightweight and they sheer out really well, so they're great for highlighting and they blend into the skin really well because they have that lightweight formula. This one is Waimebe Porcelain, and then the last one is Trapea Almond, and this is a deep, deep, deep one. And again, these blend really well onto the skin. They remind me of the Maybelline Fit Me or the NARS concealer. They just blend really well. They have great coverage. They just feel really good on the skin. So I'm keeping these, and these look at that. Isn't that a great concealer? Like, look at the coverage. I mean, I mixed all of them together, but the coverage is phenomenal and they feel really lightweight. So I'm gonna keep all 4 of these. I love them for highlighting, especially because I like a lighter product for highlighting and contouring. Alright, so moving on, I have my MAC Studio Conceal and Correct Duos. This one is Rich Yellow and Burnt Coral, and then this one is Pure Orange and Ochre. And these are pretty recent purchases. They're meant to conceal and correct the under eyes, any redness, purple, blue undertones. You can correct them with these. So I'm keeping these. I already did swatches of these, so alright, I'll still do swatches anyway. And here are the swatches: Rich Yellow, Burnt Coral, Pure Orange, and Ochre. I use these a lot for correcting, so I will definitely keep these. Then I have this CoverGirl Fix Stick Concealer. This is the True Blend, and I got the shade 7, right, Deep. And I got this because I thought I could use it for contouring. And as you can see, it's a little bit too warm. It's not deep enough for contouring. I didn't like the texture. It's starting to turn already. I can smell it, so that's out the door. This guy here is from Benefit. It's the Benefit Boing and the Eye Bright Duo. And I got this on sale. They have, screw top. Oops. This one has the pink, you see I made a mess. This one has the pink side that's meant to brighten, and then the darker side that's meant to conceal. This has dried out. I never really got into using it. I didn't truly like it. So this one has seen the end of its days. It's dried out anyway, so I don't mind getting rid of this. Another Benefit one is the Erase Paste. This is in number 3 Deep. I don't know, I never got into Erase Paste. It's just very creamy, it creases. I don't know, it's just too hydrating for me. With my oily skin, it kind of slips and slides and creases. It's not the lightest wear either. It's very thick and creamy. So yeah, I'm gonna say goodbye to this one. It's a little old too, it's about a year old, so yeah, I'll get rid of this one. Then how about we grab our OCC Skin Conceals. I got this at one of the makeup shows or IMATs, and I don't know, I never liked them. They were very, I don't know, I just never got into using them at all. This one is the shade Y3, and they're not bad concealers, I just never got into using them. And they started to change texture, and I just didn't like that at all. I didn't like, there was this little like oozing happening. I'll zoom in so you can see, and if my product looks like that, I'm not gonna use it. So they went bad really quick, and this plastic container is not helping their case. I prefer to have my concealers in glass containers, like the Marc Jacobs one is in glass, so it lasts a little bit longer. These in the plastic jars are gonna go bad a little faster. So do you see what I mean? There's that like gel that formed at the sides. I don't know what that is, and I am not trying to find out, so I'm tossing this bad boy. Alright, so let's keep going. I have my Makeup Forever. I love these concealers. I have the shade number 12. This is 12, that's 12, and that's 14. This one is almost through. I'm almost done with this one. Then I have, of course, the backup right there. And then I have the deeper shade number 14. Love these concealers. They're my favorite concealers for under the eye. Be mindful, they have a very dry formula, very dry texture, so if you use these under the eyes and you have dry under eyes, they might be a little bit too dry for you and you might need to really moisturize with these. But they set down, they cover like a dream, they're waterproof, they're budge proof, they're smudge proof. These are my favorite concealers, hands down. Sticking to makeup forever, they have these HD, I don't know if they still have these. These were the high definition concealers and these had the little silicone tip. And I got these because of DR Brooklyn. She got these and she was all over them. This was a long time ago and I got them because of that. And they're nice concealers. I just haven't been using them as much. So they smell a little bit off. Like I'm smelling my hand right now and they smell off. So I'm gonna just bite the bullet and get rid of these because I know I've had them for a while and I haven't been using them anyway and they smell off, so I'm just gonna get rid of those. And I found that concealers are kind of the first products to go bad. Even my foundations last a lot longer than my concealers. Concealers go bad really quick, so I try to stick to glass. I'm trying now. I learned my lesson to stick to glass containers. Anyhow, this is the Tarte Smooth Operator Amazonian Clay Waterproof Concealer. And this is in the shade, I don't know, but this is the lightest concealer that I have, and I use this for severe highlighting. These are my super light concealers, and they apply really well. They're really smooth and buildable. This one's 10, and I think this one is medium. So that's 10, and that's medium. And they're still very creamy. They don't smell at all. The texture is still very smooth. I really like them when I'm trying to do extreme highlighting. And you can still tame them down a little bit if you mix them and powder them. I think I might hold on to these because I really like the packaging that they're in a stick form. So they're easy to apply to precise areas. So I'm gonna hold on to these actually. Then I have the Tarte Maracuja Creaseless Concealers. And I have the shade 10 and Fair. And these I don't like so much for concealing because they're very creamy, overly creamy almost, and very tacky. But they work well for eyeshadow bases. That's why I got the Fair one, because it's so tacky and you see it's almost white on my skin. It works great for an eyeshadow base. And then the 10 actually blends right into my skin. These guys, I don't use them so much, but I know why I got them, so I gotta think about these for a minute. Let's move on before I lose my mind. I have the Stila Perfecting Concealer. I am not even gonna swatch. Well, alright, I'll swatch it for you. I've never used this. I don't know. Yeah, okay, I know why now. It's very tacky and I don't like the consistency. It's just too oily on my skin, and even when I squeezed it out just now, you saw the oil kind of come out with it. That is not great for my oily skin. So this was the shade number 8. Yeah, I'm good with that one. Alright, moving on. Let's talk about my Bare Minerals. I have the Bare Minerals concealer. This is dark, and this is, which one? Tan 2. Dark 2, Tan 2. Those are the two I have. And these I actually really liked how they apply. Like, they're very nice concealers. What the hell is happening? What is that? It's like crumbling on my skin. Is that concealer or is that the Stila? Alright, let's try that again, because I did have the Stila on my hand. No, sir. If it crumbled up something, no, let's try that again. Okay, I think it was the Stila. Good thing I get rid of the Stila. But that, I don't know. I don't see great coverage from them. I like them initially, but as I was using them, I don't get good coverage. I have better concealers, so I think these are gonna go. And I don't like containers like this because they're very exposed and they go bad easily. And these kind of smell. You can smell when a cream product has gone bad, especially concealer and foundations. They have a crayon like they smell like crayon, like Crayola crayon, wax crayons, they smell like that. And these kind of smell like that. Let me smell it in the pot. Smell in the back of my hand, I don't know. Yeah, they smell like straight crayon, so you know they've actually turned. So those are gonna go too. I'm not even gonna mess with it. Then I have my Bobbi Brown. This one is a corrector. This is the shade, which one is this? Dark Peach. And again, I use peachy colors for correcting my dark under eye circles. Lord, the camera all over the place. So this one, I don't like containers like this, so I don't know even why I got this. Don't like containers like this. It's a nice product, but I have other correctors that I use, so I don't gravitate to this. And it hasn't gone bad necessarily, but I've had it for a little while and I just don't use it, so I'm gonna chuck that one. Now I have the Bobbi Brown Tinted Eye Brightener, and this is in the shade Deep Peach. So the same shade, only this is in a tube and it's a doe foot applicator. And you'll see it's like a peachy toned concealer shade. This one I'll keep because this one is newer. This one is a doe foot applicator, which I prefer for these types of products. And it's, whoa, wait a minute, let's think about this. This one, let me see, does it smell? No, it doesn't smell on the package, but I guess what I have on my hand smells still. So, alright, so this one I'm going to keep. I like that. Moving on, I have this Graftobian concealer in Golden Sunset. I've had this for a little while now. It's a very nice concealer, nice consistency, nice color. But again, I don't reach for this. I have other concealers that I probably reach for more. Plus this one is starting to smell too. And I'm telling you, concealers go bad really quickly. So this one I'm going to get rid of as well. Now we have my Kat Von D, what do you call this? Locket concealer, Locket Tattoo concealer. This one is much older than this one. And this shade is tan. This was way back. And let's smell that guy. It smells, it doesn't smell like crayon. It smells like something else. But I got the darker shade later because the one that I had just didn't match. And I actually like the concealer. It's decent. The older one is a little bit creamier. And so I'm going to get rid of the older one because I know I've had that for a while. So I'm going to keep the newer one and get rid of the older one. Just because, you know, I know that one is definitely older. My It Cosmetics Bye Bye Under Eye Concealer. I'm on the fence with this. It's very thick. It's full coverage. It covers really well. But it's very thick and creamy. And even though it has great coverage, I find it very, just too thick, almost too thick. It feels very heavy on my skin. And that color too has a pink undertone, so it doesn't really go with my skin tone anyway. So I think I'm going to ditch that one as well. And I do have the duo, which is the eye brightener and the concealer, the Bye Bye Under Eye Concealer. This is in a different packaging. This has the doe foot, and for some reason the concealer in this one, even though it should be the same concealer, is a little bit lighter. Well, no, I'm lying. It's really not. It's still thick. But I have this brightener that I can mix with it and it loosens it up a bit and it's a little bit better. So I think I'm going to keep this because I like the brightener. So I'm going to keep this one and get rid of the tube itself. Speaking of thick and creamy, the It Concealer Bye Bye Under Eye Corrector. This is a corrector shade and this is in the shade Rich. And this one is a thick, it's not as thick as the Bye Bye. And this one is a peachy undertone to correct. I like this guy and it's full coverage, has a good package, hasn't gone bad. I like this, so I'm going to keep it. Moving on, we have a Shiseido Natural Finish Cream Concealer. This is in the shade Dark. This one is pretty new, but if you can see, this is in the shade dark, and it looks very gray on my skin. Look at this. You see? This is dark. Imagine that. This is dark. Shiseido just does not cater to darker skin, even though they say this is dark. Yeah, bye Shiseido. No, you're not doing it to me today. No. And I have a YSL concealer. I did not remember that I had this. This is terrible. This is in the shade number, is it 4? Which one is it? It's the, I cannot pronounce that. I'm not going to try. But it's in this twist up thing. Shade I think is 4. And it's actually a very nice shade. It's nice. I like twist up concealers. It's, oh, okay. I see you, YSL. It's a drier formula, which I prefer for concealers, but it's still creamy and blendable. But this means it won't be creasing and carrying on under my eyes like a hot mess. Ooh, what? YSL, go ahead, girl. So, yes, girl, I'm keeping you. Go ahead, I'm keeping you. You made your case. Here I have a Too Faced Absolutely Flawless Flexible Coverage, it's flexible. And this is in the shade Honey. Again, had no idea I had this. Oh no, is this another gray one? Lord Christ. No, no. This, I don't know if you guys can see it. It's very thick, very like emollient, and that color is just not gonna work for me. Even if I used it as a highlight color, it has this grayish cast on my skin, and that's not gonna happen. So we're gonna get rid of you, ma'am. Thank you very much for coming. Then we have, moving on, I have another Makeup Forever concealer. This one is the number 3 palette. And I have had this, child, for a while. And, I don't, Lord, I don't use this. I don't like the packaging. No. Look at the shades too. They're too light for me. No, Makeup Forever, I'm sorry, but you're not going to work. And then I saved the MAC stuff for last because MAC, oh god, MAC. The thing is, if I get rid of the MAC stuff, I can do back to MAC with them, so that's the good thing. This one is my Pro Conceal and Correct palette in medium deep. I waited months for these to restock, and this is pretty new. And it has, this one has the Rich Yellow and Burnt Coral shade as the corrector. NC40, NW40, NC42, and NW43 for the concealers. So even though I don't like packaging like this, this is still pretty new. It's a great product. It's a great conceal and correct palette. And it's what kind of, I think it's the, what is this concealer? The Studio Finish Concealer formula. So I like this a lot. This is staying. Thank you very much. Before I go on, I have a Dermablend concealer. This is in the shade, Lord Crime. This one is the shade Caramel. And this is heavy duty stuff. If you want to cover the world with this, this is what you would use. It's very creamy. Again, it's a stick formula. It's a lighter shade. It doesn't have that gray undertone though, so I could use this for brightening. And again, if you want serious coverage, Dermablend is the way to go. And it doesn't smell bad at all, so this one I am keeping. Alright, so back to the MAC stuff. I have, this is the Match Master Concealer number 7. I recently got this guy, and I like it. It's a lot orange. It looks very orange on my skin, but it blends out really great on the under eyes and works really nice, so that one I'm not getting rid of. Then I have my Studio Finish concealers. I have NW25, which is just way too light and it has dried out. I've had these for a while, and this is what I mean about the pot concealers. They dry out pretty quickly, so getting rid of that. That's gonna go back to MAC. Then I have NC35. Again, dried out, so back to MAC again. And NW35, which I use the most out of, and that's dried out. So those are all dried out and they're going back to MAC. Then I have my Select Cover Up. Let me see. Can you see? Yeah, you can see how it's kind of separating in the package. That tells you that this has gone bad too. Some products you can remix, but this one, no. You can see that's definitely no, no, no. So back to MAC you go. And then I have this Studio Sculpt Concealer. This is NC45. And I use quite a bit of this. I've used this a lot. This one is similar to the Marc Jacobs one, but I prefer the Marc Jacobs one. And this one started to smell like Crayola too. So this one is going back to MAC. But this one I think is a great, great concealer. It's cheaper than Marc Jacobs, so it's an option if you're considering it. Then I have 4 Pro Longwear concealers. I have this one here is NW35. You'll see me use this a lot in my videos to highlight under my brows. This is almost done, so I have a backup of this one. So that's those, no, these two, right? NW35, yeah, these two. So this one's almost out and this is my backup. So I'm keeping these. And glass containers, again, like I mentioned, have a longer shelf life. So these last a lot longer. They're a liquidy formula. They have a little pump. And I love these concealers. They work extremely well. And a lot of YouTubers love them as well. You'll hear them mention it. Then I have my NC45 shade, which is my matching shade. Use it too. Love this concealer again. And then I have a lighter concealer shade. This is NC35. So I am keeping these guys. These are still good to go. And then I have another Select Cover Up. This is in the my shade NC45. Even though everybody and their mother is NC45 pretty much. I think they discontinued these. And this one, let me shake it up a bit. And I shook it up because it needs mixing. This one isn't very old. It didn't separate. But, okay, I don't think this formula is gonna hold up. So I'm gonna have to back to MAC that one too. Then I have one of the mineralized concealer. This is, which one? NW35. And this is one of those brush, no sir, I don't like it, I don't like the brush thing. But again, not a bad concealer, just not one that I really reach for a lot. So back to MAC U. And then I have 3 of the Select Moisture Cover concealers. I have NC45, 2 NC45s, and an NW35. And these guys are with the doe foot applicator, which is preferred for me. And I really like the formula. I really like the texture. Again, I like doe foot applicators. The packaging is a little bit better at preserving the product over like a pot formula packaging or like a squeeze tube. This plastic material deteriorates a little bit more and causes the product inside to go bad faster. While these kind of harder plastic ones that are more opaque, like an opaque plastic is less likely to let light and heat and stuff in. So these will be more longer lasting than a clear tube. But these are a harder plastic material. Well, not put that back. This is a harder plastic material, so they last a little bit longer. So I'm going to keep these 3 as well. And oh, these are going back, and then we're gonna, did we think about these? What do we think? Let's think. I don't use these ones. I'll keep the stick ones, but I don't use these enough to justify keeping them. So I'm gonna get rid of those ones. So all in all, I think this round I did a pretty good job. I intended to get rid of a lot of my concealers because I don't use a lot of them. And I am keeping the MAC Pro Longwears, one of the Kat Von D's. I'm keeping my NARS, my Maybelline, my Marc Jacobs, this It Cosmetics corrector, my MAC Cosmetics palette, and the YSL concealer, and of course my Conceal and Correct duos, and the Pro Longwear, and then the Bye Bye Under Eye Concealer duo, and of course my Makeup Forever full cover concealers. Those are going nowhere. And then the Tarte sticks. So I'm keeping those along with the Shea Moisture Concealer. So we're keeping all these and we're getting rid of these back to MAC. I'm getting rid of all of these here, which I think is a lot. I mean, most everything here has gone bad, and concealers go bad faster than any other product in my collection. So these totally getting rid of. So I think I did pretty well. I cut down, yeah, like half my stash. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I am not sending these to anyone. Thank you very much. They are expired products. They're not good for use. Like, these are not going to anybody. Please do not message me, comment, or anything. I know you think it's funny sometimes. It's not funny because I get messages from people begging me to send them stuff. So please, not giving these away. But thank you guys so much for watching and subscribing if you have. If you haven't, go ahead and hit the subscribe button if you like these kinds of videos. And until my next video, which will be very soon, I will talk to you, and I love you guys. Take care. Bye.